And this seems like exactly that divide. The OP here wanted to make this all about the wedding couple and that was it. And clearly, the guy who proposed thought he could use it as a way to have a lot of people together for his proposal. I think that if this happened during a non-critical time of the wedding, maybe way after the fact or after all the ceremony's done, sometime when something else had finished, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I know for sure this would still bother a lot of people. So the question is, would it bother you? And do you think he was a jerk for kicking him off the Zoom call when he proposed in front of everyone? Would I be the jerk if I stopped baking cookies for the retreats that have come to expect them? I work for a quilt shop part-time, and once a month we have quilting retreats. Over time I've started to work more at the retreats, and it's come to the point where I cook cookies for the retreats and the owners reimburse me for ingredients, with the exception of the batch of chocolate chip cookies that I usually make for free. Not to brag, but I make some pretty good chocolate chip cookies. The recipe is secret and it took me years to get it the way I want it. The cookies have become a staple of the retreats, and the owners have started telling people about the cookies to convince them to buy a retreat spot. I don't get paid for baking these cookies, and I don't even get reimbursed for the ingredients to make them. I just started doing it because I like baking and giving them to people. It was fun at first, but now when I walk into the shop on retreat times, I get bombarded with, "Oh, did you bring cookies? Where are the cookies?" I can't tell you the last time I got a, "Hi, how are you?" from any of the retreaters or other staff that work solely on the retreats. Half the people who come to the retreats don't even know my name. They call me Cookie Lady, despite being reminded of my name several times. This month, I've got a friend in town, and I told the owners I couldn't cook for this month's retreat. When one of the other retreat staffers heard this, they said, "We will miss your cookies." Not, "We will miss you," or even a, "Have a good time with your friend." I feel like at this point, my entire worth to them is placed in the damn cookies, and I don't even want to bake them for them anymore. I love baking, but part of that love is experimenting with other stuff, and the one time I brought brownies instead of my cookies, I got complaints. I feel forced into making these cookies, and it's not fun anymore. I don't even get paid to make them, but suddenly it's expected of me, and it gets me nothing but stress and hurt feelings. So, would I be the jerk if I stopped baking them and just told people to deal with it? I can definitely see how this would be very hurtful. People are not even looking at her as a person they want to be at the retreat. They're just looking at her as some sort of utility, the cookie maker, the person who just shows up just to have cookies, and not even for a paid service, because she repeated that several times in this post that she doesn't get paid for them, because I'm assuming she might look at this a little bit differently if that were the case, as a justification why it doesn't matter if she's there as long as the cookies are there, because at least she's getting money out of it, but she's not. So I think that this was a really nice gesture to offer to everyone there, but she is under no obligation whatsoever to continue doing this. It was just a really nice thing to do when she wanted to do it, and now it seems like it's taking a toll on her, not the cookie baking itself, but everything that comes as a part of it. It's almost like the cookies were too successful. But let me know what you guys think. Is she the jerk here or not? And what would you do if you created cookies so good that all people wanted you for were your cookies?
Nobody goes on vacation for the moments that are just okay. That's why Sunwing vacationers go all in like it's a buffet of fun.
Why I donate a lot of money to Twitch streamers. It's 11:30 a.m. and I'm writing this out because I need to tell someone. I'm the person who donates hundreds and even thousands of dollars to Twitch streamers, mostly women. I just like seeing their reactions to a big donation. My parents have money, so therefore I have money. And these girls who are just so cute on Twitch, who actually interact with their audience, makes me want to donate even more. I won't list the streamers, but one of my donations made it onto that YouTube video of the highest Twitch donations. Like, I've actually played a game with a few of these girls, and they actually seem like generally cool people who have amazing bodies. So what's a little harm if someone like me donates $700 or even $1,000? Maybe those girls are streaming because life is tough and they have no direction in life, so streaming pays their bills. Maybe they wouldn't need to show their bodies if guys respected them as a serious stream instead of spamming them. So what if they're not good at the game? It's a game no one needs to play, like some people play all the time and just like trolling around in League of Legends, and their bodies bounce around when they get excited. You're probably thinking, oh, why not just donate to a cam girl or watch more extreme things? You know why I don't? Because those cam girls are so fake. They can't even bother to do anything. And also, I like gaming and I like League of Legends. So when I see a hot or cute streamer really trying hard to put up with all the bad people in chat, it makes me want to donate 100 just to show her she's doing a bang-up job. Also, I've watched enough extreme content to be bored. I'm going through the motions at this point. It's not as entertaining as you think. Do people not like when girl streamers take over Twitch? Maybe. But you know what? It's my money and I'll spend it however I see fit. I can go spend my money on some crappy green light, but giving money to a girl streamer is bad. I find female streamers less serious and more entertaining than some dude who's ranked 10 in the game who just talks trash about others. Am I the jerk? I thought about it for a second and I can't figure out what a green light is, referring to the part where he said he can spend some money on a green light, but giving money to a girl streamer is bad. So let me know if you guys know what that means. But overall on this, I don't think there's anything wrong with him spending his money however he wants to. I know people get really upset about this type of thing for some reason, but I don't think a lot of the reasons people are upset are actually true. I don't think it ruins it for anyone else. It sounds like he probably wouldn't be donating to other streamers that didn't fit this exact criteria anyway, so I don't think there's any loss by him donating to these streamers that he chooses. I think the most common mentality is probably that if somebody else wins, then you lose, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. And with all that said, that's only referring to the overall concept of this. The way he actually wrote this was kind of weird, because he's talking about how these streamers satisfy some part of him that guy streamers can't, even when they're ranked 10 in the game and talk trash. But the parts that he focuses on are the physical aspect of these streamers. So it is weird how he presents all this. One of the most popular opinions about him spending thousands of dollars on female streamers is why not spend it on local food banks or homelessness or anything that has people in a position where they really need help. So let me know what you guys think. Jerk or not a jerk, and what would you do? Am I the jerk for telling an employee she can choose between demotion or termination? I own a vape shop. We're a small business, only 12 employees. One of my employees, Peggy, was supposed to open yesterday. Peggy has recently been promoted to manager after 2 solid years of good work as a cashier. I really thought she could handle the responsibility. So I wake up 3 hours after the place should be open, and I have 22 notifications on the store's Facebook page. Customers have been trying to come to the shop when the store is closed. Employees are showing up to work, but they're locked out. I call Peggy and get no response. I text her the same thing. So I go in and open the store. An hour before her shift was supposed to be over, she calls me back. I ask her if she's okay, and she says she needed to, quote, take a mental health day and do some self-care. I'm still pretty pissed at this point, but I'm trying to be understanding as I know how important mental health can be. So I ask her why didn't she call me as soon as she knew she needed the day off. Her response was, I didn't have enough spoons in my drawer for that. Frankly, I don't know what that means, but it seems like she's saying she cannot be trusted to handle the responsibility of opening the store in the morning. So I told her she has 2 choices. Number 1, go back to her old position with her old pay. Or number 2, I fire her completely. She's now calling me all sorts of ist words and says I'm discriminating against her due to her poor mental health and her gender. None of this would have been a problem if she simply took 2 minutes to call out. I would have got up and opened the store on time. But this no call, no show is not the way to run a successful business. I think I might be the jerk here because I am taking away her promotion over something she really had no control over. But at the same time, she really could have called me. So, I leave it to you. Am I the jerk? I mean, this guy is nice enough to be able to give her time off or whatever she needs, it sounds like. All he's asking is that she calls in. And that's probably not that different than when she was working as a cashier. So it's strange that something would have changed between her working as a cashier and her getting promoted into her having some sort of understanding that she could just no call, no show, whatever the reason was. I mean, even if it was something totally different, it sounds like he's okay with it as long as she calls first just to let him know, because the other employees that he's paying can't even get into the store. That seems pretty ridiculous. The original poster of this was responding to somebody asking a question, and he said that he gave her the choice because he kind of feels like this whole thing is his fault. He promoted her past her level of success, and she was an amazing cashier, so he thought he'd reward her for that. But being good at sales doesn't really translate to being a good manager. Even though she seems to be claiming this, the whole situation seems like it has nothing to do with discrimination at all. It just seems like if anyone were to no call, no show and have the store closed when customers are trying to get in. I think he said that over 20 of them were leaving notifications on the Facebook page, then they would all be fired, whoever that person would be, if I had to guess. But let me know what you guys think, jerk or not a jerk, and what would you do if you were the boss in this situation? Would you give her the option to go back to her old position, or fire her completely? Am I the jerk for telling my classmate who saved a goldfish by releasing them